Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to F1 2019 Driver Coming Road. And today we're going to be going into the first race of our career in Melbourne for the first season. Last time out, in the last episode when we were doing our F2 campaign, we didn't really have that great luck, to be honest, as we unfortunately bottled the F2 championship to Devon Butler after crashing in the final with Abby Burr. Still, we were able to win the constructors, and now we're going to just see the
Winning rivalries is a great way to earn respect from your
we
team
actually have
and
a
other
rival with our
which will
teammates,
help
so
make it
which is
easier
pretty
to
cool.
negotiate favourable contracts. Your first rival is always your teammate, but you can choose who to declare as your second. The harder the rival from the eligible selection, the more respect you stand to gain or lose depending on the result.
Now, if we have a look at your own Detroit, Williams are very far behind, to be honest, but we could do a couple of upgrades right now, to be honest. I'm not exactly too sure. So it seems like in the powertrain, we are very good in powertrain. Not so good in aerodynamics. And I don't know about the chassis, to be honest. We're pretty far behind, to be honest, in the chassis. We're gonna do an upgrade now. And yeah, there we go. We have down developed 2 upgrades already. So this should put us slightly ahead. So yeah. As now we're going to be going into our first practice session.
Welcome to Melbourne and the inaugural event of the F1 2019 Championship season. The session is starting shortly and there's a real sense of anticipation in the air. A feeling that anything can happen this year, and if it does, well, this weekend could be the opening chapter to one of the most exciting F1 seasons ever. Joining me in the commentary box is, of course, Anthony Davidson. And it's great to have you back again. What can you tell us about this year's roster? There are some new faces this year, aren't there?
Absolutely, Crofty. There's been a number of interesting signings over the last few months. Where would you like to start?
Let's talk about Lucky.
Right, well, this is definitely someone to keep an eye on. Well, they've been signed up likely in no small part due to the way they carried themselves in the Formula 2 Championship. They have a great track record of putting the team first. At one of the races, they even gave up their own position when their car had a technical issue, so that their teammate, Lucas Weber, who also debuts here today, could get ahead. That kind of team spirit could take them a long way this season.
Those two aren't the only new faces from Formula 2 this season, are they?
No, this season will introduce fans to George Russell and Lando Norris, two very promising young British drivers. Plus, we'll meet Alexander Albon from Thailand, and finally, Devon Butler. Now, Devon was a bit of a controversial figure in Formula 2 last year. He racked up a lot of penalties over the course of the season, including one where he collided with his closest rival. It was a nasty clip. Now, certainly after the event, they were nothing but professional in terms of how they spoke about the incident with Devon, but it's hard to imagine them being as polite about it behind closed doors. I think this rival will be one to keep an eye on over the next few races, as both drivers take their first steps into the world of Formula 1.
This first race of the season is always quite difficult for us trackside, and for those back at the factory as well, as it's the first time the car has run since winter testing. The more consistent mileage you can get in these sessions, the happier we'll be.
Well, Mark, unfortunately for you, Jeff, I was actually able to, I don't know why I said Mark, as I did a little bit of a mistake there, but I was able to practically do the track program pretty easily, to be honest, as I had no issues of learning the track, as I've already played this game before. So I practically knew how the track worked. And yeah, I was able to get some pretty consistent mileage in the game doing 3 laps with program. And whilst, yes, I was painfully slow, to be honest, I was still able to be pretty consistent and not do a crash. So yeah, I say I did pretty good. Even Jeff was happy about it.
That's fantastic. You obviously have a really good understanding of this circuit.
And yeah, eventually I was just able to finish the program without any issues, to be honest, as I was able to do it pretty easily and made Jeff pretty happy, and my team happy also, of course. So yeah, pretty satisfied with that, to be honest. And yeah, whilst the lap times weren't that great, to be honest, I was still pretty happy. And yeah, I thought that maybe we could try doing another different practice thingy, or I don't know, whatever. So eventually I did try doing the tire acclimatization program, but that didn't really go to plan. So I went a little bit wide and eventually just set myself into the wall. So yeah, that wasn't really great for me, to be honest, because I tried to spin and I actually had to let two cars pass because they were on laps, so they didn't want to crash into them. And yeah, that was pretty unfortunate, to be honest. But yeah, I didn't really know what else. I didn't really know what else to do in the practice session, so eventually I just ended it. Now, of course, just doing FP1 and FP2 wasn't really I mean, of course, just not doing FP1 wasn't gonna work. FP2 and FP3, and I don't personally want to talk about FP2 and FP3 because they didn't really go to plan, to be honest. As yeah, unfortunately for me, in FP2 I would end up crashing, as I would just lose the car and eventually just spin just before the end of Sector 1. And as you guys may probably guess, in FP3, whilst I was trying to do the qualifying program, which I was doing pretty terrible, I would end up going a bit wide. I just ran the final corner and crashed in near the pit lane wall. So yeah, I ended up crashing both in FP2 and FP3, which wasn't ideal. So yeah, pretty disappointing there.
Bruh.
Now, nothing really happened in quad, to be honest. We were just gonna be doing our first lap, which we were awfully slow, as we were not really quick in the Williams, of course, as the Williams is just an absolute crap car, to be fair. But we were just trying our best to set a pretty decent enough lap time, and hopefully we can somehow miraculously not qualify last, because that's what usually happens. I qualify last, or I qualify near the back of the grid, to be honest, in the back market machinery, which is realistic enough, to be fair. But yeah, as we rounded off this first lap, I knew it wasn't going to be a good lap, as I actually looked behind and I think I was giving the McLaren some slipstream since I was just really slow. And eventually, I did a 1:26.0, which was almost 3 seconds slower than Bottas, which is pretty wild, to be fair. Now, immediately after that, I tried going out for another run since I knew I had time, but unfortunately for me, I just wasn't able to improve, as my lap time was pretty close to the previous one I did, as I eventually said a 1:26.1, but I just didn't have the pace to improve, which was very unfortunate, to be honest, being that we would still stay last behind Russell. Of course, I did have to do my final lap in Q3, which I did just at the very end, and I'm not going to spoil what happened, so you guys can just see the lap for yourself and try to guess what happened. Be enough to get into Q2. Nope, we only gained 1 position, okay. So yeah, as you can tell from my muttering in the background, yeah, we did make it into Q1.
We unfortunately didn't make it into
but we were able to
was
go quicker than Russell.
Wait, Lucas is P7. What?
The
How
improvement
is he
was
so quick in the Alfa Romeo?
So,
Oh
yeah,
my god.
and
Okay, so it's Kvyat, Stroll, Devon, us, and Russell.
My rival
Alright.
Weber was in 7th somehow in the Alfa Romeo. and I have like no idea
Okay,
why.
we're the only ones. Right,
So,
you know what? Our final lap was
we're
actually
not
pretty
gonna
good,
question
to be honest.
anything, but Devon was out.
Let's
So,
see.
to be
Okay,
honest,
yeah, we
might
nailed
be
sector 1,
challenging
sector
our
2, and we just
rival
had a pretty good
because
sector
Devon
3,
was
but
in the F2
oh, we got a bit of a warning. I don't know. Yeah, we
we're
did get a
gonna be
warning
now
on the
seeing
previous
what will
lap, so
happen
yeah.
in the race, and hopefully nothing will
How
happen. Okay,
far-
well, I didn't mean to
how
say
far
nothing
did we
will
to
happen.
get
I have to do
into
another
Q2?
voiceover, but yeah, I mean, I hope something
We're
interesting happens in the
almost
race.
a second
us
again.
making it into Q2 was like pretty unlikely to be fair. So we didn't really have a chance. But you know what? Yeah, we're gonna see what's gonna happen in the race.
New drivers, new cars, it's a new Formula One season. But it's the same Albon.
Liability remains to be seen.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting
I got
race.
the bonfire fireworks so I can carry loud.
And it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Verstappen, Sebastian Vettel and Albon, Ricciardo, Raikkonen, Perez and Lando Norris, Grosjean, Weber, Carlos Sainz and Hulkenberg, Magnussen, Kvyat, Lance Stroll and Devon Butler. Lucky and George Russell ends our grid lineup. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
We need you to finish in 19th or higher
In the
today.
race now.
Yeah, Jeff, I think I'm able to finish 90
Oh, but we are the
as I did
formation
actually
lap, okay,
forget
I
to
see.
say
Wait, what's the- I don't know what's the
formation lap,
first
as we
lap
get to
is.
start with 5 red lights, and we have a pretty mediocre start, to be honest. I mean, it's a bit of a terrible start. We almost go into the grass and kind of hold off Russell a bit. And yeah, we're now going to be heading to turn 1 where we try to stay cautious as Russell tries to look on the inside, and we had a bit of a terrible exit as we already have a bit of a gap to the cars in front, which is absolutely nuts, to be fair. And yeah, nothing really happened. However, the cars here went really slow, so I thought I could maybe make a move around the outside of Devon, and there was a little bit of a contact, and eventually I tried again, but I just ended up spinning myself and hold Russell up a bit. So yeah, already a great start to the season.
Bruh.
Yeah, well now, yes, nothing would really happen for like the next 2 laps or something, since I didn't really notice much. I
DRS
did
is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you are within 1
practically
second
me
of
and
the car
I
ahead
was now
and
having a
in
race
the
by
DRS
myself,
zone.
and looking at the mini-map, it seemed like George was also nowhere. So yeah, I guess both Williams were now going to have a race of nothing, I guess. Yeah, nothing really happened from this point onwards. So yeah, this was probably going to be a really boring race. Eventually, skipping a couple of laps ahead to R6, I did actually could now see Russell in the distance, but that was probably most likely because he was only on medium whilst I was on soft. I mean, I was quicker than Russell, but yeah, me and Russell are now practically nowhere, to be fair. As yeah, I was also starting to struggle with tire wear because I'm like really bad at tire wear because I don't know, I just like use the tires too much quickly, which is pretty unfortunate for me. I should probably learn how to use my tires, to be fair. But that's like not gonna be like really easy, to be fair, as I don't know why I paused the screen for like a couple of seconds. I don't know what happened there. I don't really remember because I actually recorded the video like 2 hours, like 2 to 3 hours before editing. It's like I like finished recording the video like 7. It's now 9 p.m. So yeah, I don't know how I wasted 2 hours of editing. But to be fair, yeah, it is what it is, bro. But yeah. Eventually, I was starting to lose time now to Russell due to the tire difference, as Russell being on medium meant he was actually quicker, because after a certain amount of laps, softs have a much more wear than medium, basically meaning that they'll just not work whatsoever. And you could clearly tell by the way I was like driving, because I was not able to follow the race line in the corners. As yeah, I was like really struggling for grip, to be fair, as I went a little bit wider. And at this corner, I went very wide actually, making me lose a lot of time to Russell. So yeah, it was a pretty unfortunate situation, to be honest, for me. And I was gonna really that spin with and collision with Devon didn't really help us, to be honest. But I thought nothing could really happen. Well, I thought nothing was really gonna happen until we just skip around 2 laps. As eventually just 2 laps later on lap 9, just heading into the hairpin, I would end up losing the car actually. I would just end up going into the wall, causing me to lose my entire front wing. So yeah, the race was just going from like kind of bad to literally worse now. Because I didn't really have like a front wing, this meant that I could like not drive the car, of course. And it's also meant I had to do an early pit stop, meaning I wasn't unsure if I was 20 laps on hards. Even though the pit window, yes, did say 19 laps. So I thought, that, okay, I'll just box and just do the race, to be honest. I don't want to make it a lot worse for me. If there was a safety car, that would have massively helped. But yeah, unfortunately for me, I actually ended up going wide. And I spun eventually and caused the DNF by hitting the wall. So yeah. Our first race ended in retirement, which is very unfortunate, to be fair. And yeah, to be fair, to be honest with you guys, I didn't really want this to happen, but you know what? It's F1. What can you expect? Okay, well, you know what? I'm not gonna flashback that too actually. And well, yeah, now I'm just gonna have to look at the miserable cutscene of my driver literally retiring. So yeah. It was pretty unfortunate, to be honest. But eventually, the race was just as boring as it seemed, as Mercedes would win the opening race with Hamilton winning the race from Leclerc and Verstappen. So yeah, nothing much happened, to be fair.
A well-earned victory for Mercedes. And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. Lewis
Oh,
Hamilton
there was some chaos. Valtteri fell down to P10. He had to do 2 stops. He probably had contact.
Anthony Davidson,
Oh,
which
Devin
you
finished
rank as
P12
your
on way to
driver of the day?
P40.
Carlos Sainz would be my first choice for this race. He had excellent race stamina, giving him the
Oh, we
opportunity
had,
to
we had
charge
more
through the
pace.
race.
Like,
It's time to see how things are shaping
our
up
best lap was
in the
only 1/10
Constructors'
quicker than
Championship.
Brussels, man. I have no
Ferrari
idea how.
take the lead at the top of the table.
Oh, God. Well, that's
certainly
not
an
good.
incredible
You
weekend.
guys can probably hear my muttering in the background. I was very disappointed, to be honest. But yeah, there was a little bit of chaos, as Valtteri did not end up not finishing in the top 6. It would end up doing 2 stops. I also don't know why, to be fair. And yeah, to be completely honest with you, I looked in the race director. There was nothing, to be fair. To be honest, I can only see the race director after I retired, because yeah. And yeah, for some reason, just after lap 5, it just looked like that we didn't have any pace whatsoever. Russell, in the meantime, he stayed pretty consistent overall, which means we should probably improve on our consistency, to be honest, which isn't something great, of course.
Well, things didn't really go your way today. Let's have your take. You've had experience with Devon's fast, aggressive style. Any advice for the drivers he passed today?
With the car he's driving, I don't think there's a lot I can offer.
That crash looked pretty serious. Can you walk me through what happened?
I mean, I lost downforce. I'm lucky it wasn't that serious. The car just didn't have like that much downforce, to be
Appreciate
honest.
your
I don't
time.
know why.
Commiserations on that result. It's been a tough weekend.
Yeah, to be honest, it was a pretty tough weekend, not gonna lie.
You're not the only driver to be hounded by the press. Emails, like the one I've just sent you, will give you an insight on how your former Formula 2 rivals are handling the press. Be sure to check your emails regularly, as I'll be sure to send you any of the more, let's say, interesting press transcripts that come my way. Looks like one of your rivals has also been invited to a historical event. This could be a good opportunity to play up your rivalry for the press and expand your reputation.
Okay, oh, we got an interview transcript from Ava. Okay, wait, no. Okay, Devon just said, it pains me to say, but maybe my old rival just doesn't cut the custard. Okay, I don't know what do you mean by that, but let's see what Weber says. Yeah, I will take it as an opportunity to see what happened. Yeah, and yeah. Yeah, Baldo, to be honest, is a pretty aggressive shot. He was battling in the replay, so yeah. Alright, so that race did not go to plan, to be honest. We can't do any upgrades either, which is very unfortunate. I mean, yeah, to be honest, it's just been a pretty awful race, but okay, we have a invitational event. Nah, we're just gonna go to next weekend. To be honest, I don't want to do the individual events. And 90, and I'm pretty good at farming, so I'll bump the difficulty up a bit.
Practice sessions are vital for the continuing development of the car, but if you need to, you can choose to simulate the session instead. It won't be as effective as having you behind the wheel directly, but it's better than missing the session entirely.
Yeah, so I'm probably gonna leave it there, guys. Wait, no. I'm probably gonna leave it there, guys. To be honest, it was a pretty bad race, to be honest, as we only like completed 1/3 of the race. But yeah, you know what? The next race of Bahrain, we should be pretty good, as I do this track a lot. So yeah, we might actually have some pace. I don't want to like make it unrealistic though, because you can clearly see in the R&D show that Williams are not quicker, and I can't just like win the race just because I'm good at a track. Like that won't make it fair. So yeah, I'll try and see what I'll be able to do. But yeah, guys, I'll see you all next video, I guess, which I have no idea when it's going to be. So yeah. See you guys.
So yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, I would massively appreciate it if you guys would drop a sub. And yeah, I will be uploading another video next time. Well, it's not. Well, no, it's not like I'm gonna be quitting, of course. I don't know why I said that, to be honest. But yeah, I will be uploading another video. I'm not sure what video it will be, to be fair. And yeah, I'll think about it. And yeah, that's gonna be it, guys. So I do massively appreciate it for you guys watching this video, since this video did take me some time to make. Yes, all my videos do take time to make, but you know, it is what it is. So yeah, I'll see you all next time, and yeah, I don't know what to say now, so bye.